Welcome to episode 2.
God damn it.
Dude, we just recorded about an hour's worth of an episode, probably a little bit. It said 53 minutes, 55 minutes. Now I'm keeping my eye on it. It didn't record any video. So the camera died, first of all. Bibhor pointed it out.
Technical errors.
It's my first
of
day,
the
man.
Initial launches of these podcasts. It's
yeah,
fine.
I'm sorry.
It's not a big
man.
deal.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Dude, it was a riveting conversation, dude. We were really going off. You guys missed out. I'm just saying.
Maybe we'll just put that up there someday.
It could still be a podcast. We still have all the audio, so we could add that in there somewhere. Just kind of random thoughts by not having a video. I'll see what we can play with it. We'll see what we could do. But any case, welcome to episode 2 of Bibhor and Oskar's podcast. I love you guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got to do that, dude. Gary V, shout out, dude. We forgot to mention him when it was. We did mention him when it was recorded, but you know the thing that he does. Look, I got to get that crisp one, you know.
If anybody has an idea for an intro or an outro, please give us something catchy to start out.
Yeah, and then if you are looking to get some advice on making podcasts, and you know, let us know.
Dude, buy on our link below. You could buy our modules and our training of how to be a podcaster.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's so funny?
What not to do in OBS and how to record your video. And
you know what's so funny? I was just watching this a video. I don't know if it's like a reel or TikTok or whatever, but it says people that are making you buy their courses are not like someone that is very successful isn't selling a course. That's basically what I was trying to get at. Because
are you saying that all the money that they're showing me isn't made from what they're actually doing?
Yeah, it's like, dude, like if you know, like again, I think it goes to any business model type of thing, right? If you are making insane amount of money doing whatever you're doing, no business is going to be like, okay, here is the secret formula. Now you go make more money. Like that makes no sense. Like and people can come back in the comments and be like, "Oh, like, no, we do that." No, most of your revenue comes from selling that course. Don't lie to me. That's how this works. Like, you know, like what?
And it's tough, man. So I've paid for some of those courses before. You know, I paid up to $5,000 for some of those courses before.
What?
Yeah.
What did you buy?
Different ones. About the one that cost me $5,000. It's from a buddy of mine, actually.
No friends no more.
Yeah, well, no, we weren't like super close buddies, but a good buddy of mine now. But he does Airbnb and like short-term rentals and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I have access to all that stuff, and he's doing pretty well. Again, I think he's made a good chunk of money off of the training.
The courses.
Yeah.
But again,
But I mean, he is making good money on the Airbnb stuff.
No,
so
I'm sure.
Yeah. It is legit, you know.
But I see a lot of these, like, I don't know, like gurus on the internet that like sell courses and stuff like that. Like, if you're very heavily pushing your course, then you're in the business of selling a course, not the product. You know what I'm saying? Like, your revenue source comes from a product. Well, in that person's, your friend's case, right? I don't know the guy, but most of his money, I assume, would comes from Airbnb type of situation, right? So, that's great. Of course, it's on the side, but making most of my money on this, and that's fine. But a lot of people that just do like just a course, all right, like come on now,
like to be a digital marketer or like the remote worker and everything like that. That's the one that kind of gets me.
Yeah, dude, ChatGPT can do it. Yeah. That's the problem, right? Like, one of the things that we talk about all the time is like, what job is most likely to get impacted with AI, right? And like it's both across all spectrum of jobs. It's the high level jobs, it's the low level jobs. We're seeing the first iteration of like AI that's simply just on the computer. The next one is going to be a robot. And then what? The plumbing, that's going to be done. The electrician, that's going to be done. Like it is really going to that point of singularity at some point. I'm not going to say right now, but maybe in the next 50 years, 60 years, we're going to get to that point where like all the jobs are going to be done. And then what?
Then we get to just sit on the beach, drink pina coladas.
Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Art.
That'd be cool. But like some of these things early on, like paralegals and, Like a lot of jobs where you're skimming through data or like reading a large documents, those are going to be gone first. Because you just upload that PDF and my boy GPT-4 will just tell you exactly to what detail and how it happened on what page, like, and then that's just it, right?
So it'll take over like the mundane tasks and everything like that. You think, but then you think
And all jobs are called across all spectrum.
But
Coding, right?
you don't think like it'll change from an aspect? Yeah, you're right. Like all the mundane tasks, I guess. But then it becomes more so like, I guess like what a prompt engineer is, right? The idea of like, well, now you're trying to dictate, well, what kind of ideas can I create, and how can ChatGPT or AI be used, or how can I leverage it to create those ideas? Like I was mentioning in the other one that we recorded, I went on a whole wormhole of how to create a golf ball with like a GPS tracking device inside of it. Doesn't exist.
This conversation is just getting me frustrated now for the second time. Like,
it was a cool idea, but I was up till like 3 a.m. on ChatGPT trying to do it. But like, dude, I have prototypes. I'll show the prototypes around here. But I'll like, it was an interesting idea, and that's what I think that it will probably become. Where it's like now, someone's going to say, "Huh, that's an interesting thing. How can I make it better?" Or what could be going there? And now they could use ChatGPT or AI to ask better questions, because it'll lead them down that path of understanding what questions to ask.
So,
kind of thing.
yeah. So I think one of the things that like, and I was having this kind of conversation with during our one of our events, and I said this, like, our entire societal structure is based on, we go to school, we learn, and they give us a test, and we pass the test. For the most part, that's kind of how information and knowledge is validated, given, and so forth, right? But we are seeing a paradigm shift in like culture and technology where like with the introduction of AI, it is no longer just can I pass the test? It's going to a frame of like asking the question, right? We're going back to the beginning of like these scientific discoveries of like, how did Newton discover gravity? An apple fell. Well, why did the apple fall, right? That is where we're going. Asking questions always, I think, is better, and challenging is always better than just reading a book and giving an answer from the book. Mm-hmm. Give me why you think that is like that. I think that goes a lot further. And with in advancements in AI, I think it's definitely going to be you asking the questions more than you trying to figure out like how do you ask the right question to get the right answer, because the answers just exist everywhere. So it's your ability to ask the right question to get the right information is what's going to be key, versus before knowing somebody that had the answers.
Yeah, you needed to find the person who had the knowledge, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now the knowledge, but even more so than just the internet, because Google, like, you could do research, but you still have to kind of search and still know what you're looking at. Where
Right.
this could kind of really put it into layman terms and kind of say like, hey, yeah, X, Y, and Z, and this is what you do. It even tell you, hey, these are the next steps. Do you want me to help you out with the next steps? It's like, it's so cordial, so nice, AI, It's like, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to become like,
You think
we're
they're
going
going
to
to start telling
better
jokes?
ideas. Jokes?
Yeah.
I think it already can tell jokes.
Yeah, but like, have you read some jokes from these chatbots?
No, not yet. No.
Horrible.
Well, I mean,
I think the thing with jokes
what
that it has,
comedian is training the chatbot?
I don't think it's even comedian. You can take every single joke that has ever been told and put it into ChatGPT, right? And it still won't be able to tell you the joke properly, because when it comes to telling a joke or comedy, a lot of it is punchlines.
And
A lot of it is timing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more factor that goes into it than just saying a joke that remembers a joke. It can remember every joke. Like, the delivery is like
You
crucial.
can do like a
on
knock
joke.
knock joke, but it can't do
Right.
like a sophisticated kind of like make you think.
Oh yeah, dude, Dave Chappelle is like, I think the best comedian of all time. And there's one of his skit is like where he talks about he starts off a joke, and it was like about a woman and whatnot, and he goes around this whole process of telling a joke. At the end of the joke, and he's like, kicked her right in the pussy. And I was like, holy shit, that is hilarious. But like that was a 30-minute long joke, dude. Obviously, if you want to hear the joke, if you want to hear the joke, go online and check it out. You know, I just gave you the punchline, but
Totally.
that shit was hilarious.
We're gonna clip that. Yeah.
But you know, like shit like that. Like if you can build a joke and you bring it all the way back from like 30 minutes ago, what you were talking about, that's hard.
Yeah.
But then you build this joke for 30 minutes.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah, where they kind of lay pipe, where they that's like the first joke they start out with, and then they end the whole thing with kind of that same joke and everything like that.
Yeah, and it's funny that like you remember Comedy Central, like growing up.
Yeah.
Like everything, like I mean, I watched a ton of Comedy Central. The Mind of Mencia, you know, everyone's probably seen that.
Carlos Mencia.
There's a bunch of other ones. The
hated
Chappelle
on,
Show. People hate him, dude. He's a joke stealer, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't know. Anyways,
Kind of disappeared. I haven't seen Carlos Mencia.
He got
like blacklisted.
Blacklisted from like comedy.
Comedy clubs.
Basically, comedy, dude.
Oh wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like comics don't like joke stealers. That's like a no-no in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but part-time comedian.
Yeah.
I'm pretty funny.
to your wife and your son, yeah.
Oh yeah, he thinks
Boston.
I'm so
Boston
funny.
is not a fan.
Yeah, he's not a fan, dude. He laughs sometimes.
Yeah.
So I have a little
crowd.
like a ice freezer thing outside. What do you call it? Like
A cooler?
like a deep freezer. I don't know. Like a.
Is it just a freezer?
It's a freezer, I guess. I don't know. You can't walk into it. I want to say a walk-in, but it's not a walk-in freezer. Anyways, it's in our garage, and I
So you put the
keep the
bodies.
door open so I can see because I don't want to turn the light on. And light doesn't work. That's why I don't turn it on. But he thinks it's so funny that like every time I go in the garage and try to like get something out of the chest, he undoes the hook that keeps the door open and just slams the door on me and just laughs. I'm like, dude, I can't see now. Like what are you doing? Like,
Because he knows you can't see. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's hilarious. And I would come out, he'd just be dying laughing and say, ha 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 ha.
Tough crowd, man. Tough crowd, you know? But I don't know. Yeah, it's I mean, imagine what Boston's going to go through. I mean, he's 3 right now. When he's 18, when he's 25, 30, when he's our age, like
We were just talking about this, and it's like you ask a child, right? Okay, so I'll ask you this, right? Like, Oscar, make a hand gesture that says, I'm going to give you a call. What do you do?
oh, we did like people do this, and now the kids.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this.
So now it's like this. It's like a box, and it's like this. Like, but which I'm thinking, like, I asked him that. I asked him, hey, like, pick up the phone, and he does this. You know, like it's kind of hilarious, and it's because like.
well, they
They
didn't
don't
grow
know
up with the
landline.
yeah.
There's no landline,
They
you know.
didn't
So
grow up
it's
with that.
hilarious. I'm like, okay, but it's crazy to think like like what culturally like things like that don't exist, like things that you like a cassette player, right? Like that's a ancient technology at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with the CD player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you probably had a CD player. Like I had one of those like not skip for 6 seconds or 8 seconds when you're walking.
There you go,
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I thought it was so cool. And then the iPod
Walkman
came, and the
yeah.
iPod came.
Yeah.
I actually have one of those iPod, not iPod Touch, but an iPod with a screen that had a rolly thingy, like you roll the.
Oh, that was like the original, the iPod. Yeah. Not the original iPod, but one of the
Yeah,
other iPods.
that had that, and then after that came the Touch.
Yeah. I never got the Touch.
Got the phone. I think the Touch
I
was
got the phone, yeah.
short-lived. It was a
Yeah.
short-lived
Oh,
product.
you had the phone. It's like, well, why not just get the phone?
Yeah.
And then the iPad came out, and they're like, kids could just play with the iPad and not the. What the fuck?